Hello, I'm Dave Foss. I'm the Senior VP of Data Center Operations at EdgeConneX. I'm honored to be here with Steve Lorenzo. He's a Director of Solutions Architecture here at EdgeConneX as well.
Hi, Dave. It's great to be here today.
Great. And so as part of our EdgeConneX Salute Veterans Appreciation Series, wanted to get some words of wisdom from you, Steve, on transition from the military world to the data center world. So, if you can kind of go through some top tips of things you've learned as you've gone through that transition.
Absolutely. One of the things many things I learned after leaving the service were understanding what vendor type certifications would be required or should be sought after before entering the workforce, and get those done before you leave the service. Or if you're taking time off before going into the civilian sector, do it in between that time. But vendor certifications are always a good thing for military members to try to achieve. Then you want to make sure you tailor your resume to positions of interest. Don't just have one resume, have multiple type resumes that pique your or that are driven towards the interest that you show. And some of the most important things you do are surround yourself with formerly separated military members that are friends of yours and get ideas as to what they learned. I think that's a very, very important tip. Surround yourself by good people. Understand the civilian sector compensation, because that's obviously somewhat different than the military. And don't just jump. I know when you leave the service, you're really, it is a huge transition, and you want to ensure that you're taking on an opportunity that is going to be rewarding, fulfilling, and something you can advance at. Don't just jump on that first opportunity. I did that. I was lucky. It kind of took me some really good places. However, I've seen others that weren't so lucky and they've job hopped numerous times because they did jump at that first opportunity. It's nice to be wanted. It's nice to have that, that offer letter, and you see money a whole different, perspective from the service. But that would be, those are things that, I think making the career move are very important.
Yeah, those are good tips to know about. Any other things? Was the transition easy, hard, more difficult than you thought, or easier than you thought?
Well, I think luckily for me, I was a military brat as well, so my father had already transitioned. So having your father as part of the transitioning team helps out. And something that's very important to note, it's not just the military member transitioning. If you have a family, that family's also transitioning, because when you're married and in the military, your spouse is also married to the military, as well as your family, the kids. So it's a different lifestyle, and it's important to understand that they're going through changes as well. And, don't just disregard those. Understand that it affects them as well. And previously I had mentioned taking time before just, getting your vendor certifications prior to going into just an opportunity. Once you determine what path you want to go, take a little time for yourself once you transition from the service. I went directly from the service. I was actually still on terminal leave when I started in the workforce, so I was drawing the two-paycheck scenario. I took no time for myself, and that's probably my biggest regret when I left the service, is not taking any time away to spend with family and do a little traveling and just decompress and try to get back. You have to reintroduce yourself to the civilian sector. And one of the, another thing that you want to do during that transition is lose the military jargon, the military speak per se. While the missions, the civilian sector has a mission, and so does the military sector. You have missions you're trying to accomplish. The manner in which you go about doing that is a little bit different, but you still have goals you're trying to accomplish. So understanding that your goals have now changed, and you have to, bend yourself, be flexible to those changes that are coming. with the different missions that have presented themselves.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a big cultural change that you have to go through, and especially as you said, just leaving, going direct from the military life to civilian career life.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's tough, but if you surround yourself with the right people and get lucky enough to find the right company that's military friendly, it helps tremendously. So
Yeah.
absolutely does.
Did you change physical locations also when you got out of the military? Was that also something you had to deal with, or were you able to stay in the same location and get the job at EdgeConneX?
Great question. So I did relocate. My last tour service was in the Washington, D.C. area, and I relocated back closer to home. I am now in Texas. So yeah, it's a cultural change. And then also, just you've got so many things piling up. You're leaving, military, you don't know what tomorrow holds. And my wife was actually pregnant at the time we were leaving the service. So it was just another situation we had to overcome. So moving, transitioning, new baby, all that. So yes, we absolutely did have to transition to a new location.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. Well, Steve, it's definitely an honor to have you on board here at EdgeConneX, and an honor to know you, and I want to thank you for your service, and happy to have you on board.
Excellent. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it.
You bet.